Hey there, Dave D here, and welcome to this special advanced training, How to Attract More Clients in a Month Than You Now Do All Year. Now, I know that sounds like a big, bold promise, but I think as you go through the system, as you go through this training, you're going to say to yourself, hey, yeah, I think this will actually work for me, and it will. Now, the truth is that the system that we're going to discuss really will work for many businesses, but it is absolutely ideal for someone who is in a professional practice of some type. So, for example, if you're a financial advisor, if you're in the healthcare profession, if you're an attorney, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, this is really truly who this system that we're going to go over fits perfectly. It's really anyone who sells via consultation. So, now, I'm going to ask you some questions, which I already know the answers to, but it'll set the sail to where we're going. The first question is, would you love to never again worry about where your next client is coming from? In talking to literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business owners, this is one of the most important aspects of their business and one of the most important things that causes them the most stress and the most frustration. Well, we're going to solve that today. Next question is, would you love to have your calendar filled with pre-qualified prospects? Listen, there's not much worse than waking up in the morning, getting that sick feeling in your stomach because you know that your calendar isn't filled with prospects who are ready to buy from you. And again, we're going to solve that. The final question is, would you love to make more money and help more people solve their problems? Because the truth is, that's what selling is really all about. The late, great Zig Ziglar had a saying, and I'm going to paraphrase it here, but it went something like this. You can get everything in life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And that's what selling is. If we can serve more people, if we can solve more people's problems with our product or with our service, we're going to make more money. Now, I'd like you to shut your eyes and actually do it. Shut your eyes for a second and imagine you could have a magic wand. And when you wave this magic wand, you would literally be generating more clients every month than you now get all year. How would that feel inside your body? What would that do for you aside from, hey, you would have a lot more money? Would it relieve a lot of stress? Would it make you enjoy your business even more than you already enjoy it? Would it make you feel more successful, more alive? Well, here's the reality of this. You can do it. I'm going to share with you how you can do it specifically on this advanced training. But here's the deal. You've got to pay close attention to me. I'm going to ask you to step outside your comfort zone and do what I ask you to do. Because here's the truth. All great breakthroughs, all great success happens when you step outside your comfort zone. So if you have a deal, if you're giving me a yes, then let's get started. Because I'm going to share with you the very best three-step system for attracting A-list prospects and then converting them into A-list customers, clients, or patients. Now, so I don't have to keep saying customers, clients, and patients, we're just going to stick with clients, okay? And you can do the translation in your head depending upon what you call your particular customer, client, or patient. So why is this so important that we learn this now and that we implement this system immediately? Well, the first thing is that your prospects have more choices than they've ever had before. And with all of these choices, that's kind of good for the consumer, and it's kind of not because many of them get confused. But with more choices, meaning you have more competition than you ever had before. The next thing is your prospects are being bombarded by your marketing messages. Now, you can see the kid there. That's what your prospects are doing. And marketers are still using old-fashioned, high-pressure techniques to try to break through the clutter and get their message through to their prospects. There is a much better way of doing it. It's a new way of doing it, and it's going to provide you with a great new opportunity to leapfrog ahead of anyone else in your industry. And then the final reason that it's mission critical that we learn to do this now is your prospects probably view you as a commodity because, again, they have so many choices. And when you're viewed as a commodity, what do people base their buying decision on? Right. They base their buying decision based upon price. And so the system that I'm going to share with you eliminates all of these problems and does so much more for you because it sets you up, as we'll discuss, as the go-to expert to your target market, as the authority, as a celebrity, as the expert. And the beautiful thing about this is you're going to be the only game in town who is using this system. So it's going to really make you stand out and solve all of those problems. So the question is, well, why should you listen to me? Now, I know many of the folks who are watching this advanced training have known me for years. They've been my customers. They've been my students. They've come to my seminars. They've been to my coaching programs. But I know a whole bunch of folks don't have any idea who I am. Maybe they got my book or something like that. And so let me just introduce myself to you because I think it's important that you know that, the real deal, and that I could actually help you get the results that you desire and the results that I'm promising you. And by the way, many people have a tendency to tune out at this part. Don't, because this lays the foundation of the system. It lays there's a lot of good teaching that's going on here, a lot of things that you'll learn that you'll be able to apply. So let me start with the day that I lost it. I was working at a job in Atlanta, and the company was called Magic Masters, and they were, quote, executive magic stores. You see, ever since I was a little kid, I had a dream of being a professional magician. That's right, you heard me correctly, a professional magician. So my service that I'd be providing was entertainment for parties and corporate events and things of that nature. And the closest I got to that dream was moving from Massachusetts to working at this magic shop. And so basically what we did at this magic shop is we did not sell magic tricks to other magicians. They were in convention hotels, and basically my job was to draw in a crowd of business owners, of conventioneers, demonstrate, do a little magic show, and then sell them the secrets afterwards. So basically what we were doing is we were selling overpriced magic tricks to unsuspecting conventioneers. Well, the day that I lost it is I had just done a double shift, and it was in the middle of the summer, and I was driving back in Atlanta traffic, and I had the windows rolled down on my beat-up Ford Thunderbird, and I was sweating, and it was just terrible. And the reason I had the windows rolled down was because I was making no money. I was so frustrated. I was getting deep in debt. I think my best year, I made $23,000 in the entire year. And I was just so upset with myself, and I couldn't afford to fix the air conditioning because I didn't have the money. And it's at that point that in the car, I lost it. Now, I don't know if you've ever had the experience where you've lost it, but I mean, I lost it. I started hitting the steering wheel and swearing, and it was really, really ugly. And I knew that something had to change, that I had to take charge of my life. Well, fortunately, the owner of the magic company that I was working for fired me. And the reason he fired me is he knew I had these entrepreneurial aspirations and that I wanted to eventually open my own shops, and he thought that would be competition, so he fired me. Well, it was a really great day looking back, but it was a really bad day when it happened because I also found out that my wife was pregnant. So now I had no job, I had no money, and I was really, really struggling. And one of my favorite speakers was the late Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn had a saying where he said, successful people invest in themselves in their education. And so I went to this motivational success rally type of seminar where they bring in a whole bunch of celebrity speakers, and then in between the celebrity speakers, what happens is there's other speakers, and the other speakers sell stuff. Well, one of the speakers on the program was this guy by the name of Dan Kennedy. And I was watching Dan on the stage, and he was talking about marketing. And man, I knew that that was the missing piece. That's how I was going to be able to actually live my dream of being a professional entertainer. Because at the time, I was only doing about 3 shows a month. And so I ended up investing in the product that Dan was selling. And it really led me to what I call the ultimate success secret was, number one, I invested in my education when I didn't think I could afford it. Now, I couldn't afford that product that I bought back then. But I knew that something had to change, that my life was going to be miserable, that I was going to not be living my dream. I'd get a regular job, which felt like death to me. And I had this dream ever since I was a little kid. It was time to make it a reality. And the next piece of the ultimate success secret, though, was I implemented what I learned. And so I remember the day that the program arrived in the mail, I locked myself in a bedroom. My wife and I were living in a 2-bedroom apartment. So I locked myself in the spare bedroom of the apartment, and I listened to every audio cassette. Shows you how old this thing was, right? I listened to all of the cassettes. I went through all of the manuals. I read all of the bonus material. I just really implemented all of it. And then I took massive action. On Monday, I started just doing stuff. I started doing the marketing. And by the way, it wasn't good marketing because I had just learned it. But something that's not up on the screen, but it's important, you probably want to take a note of this, is that I took a lot of imperfect action. And I later discovered that that is one of the keys to getting what you want, taking imperfect action. In the past, I would try to make everything perfect before I launched it. And with that strategy, number one, I didn't launch a lot of stuff. And number two, I didn't launch, some of the things never got launched because I was constantly tweaking them and trying to make them better and better and better before actually doing anything with them. Well, there was a miracle breakthrough, and it was truly a miracle breakthrough. Because after taking massive action on what I learned, I went from doing 3 shows a month to averaging 25 shows a month in less than 90 days. In my 4th month, I did 57 shows. I was living my dream, and it happened quickly because I invested in myself. I implemented what I learned in a massive way. And everything changed for me. Within a year, I had paid off about $80,000 worth of debt. I had bought a new house. I had bought a new car. And most importantly, I had the business that I had always dreamed of having. Now, I'm no longer a professional performer, professional magician, although I still do my show when I speak at seminars. I usually do it the night before, just for fun, before I do the teaching the next day. But the truth is that that is the ultimate success secret that I just gave you. Now, the tactics changed, but the principles remained the same. And so in the next 75 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can do it too. And by the way, I've done it not only in my magic business, but now in my coaching and consulting business as well. Really doing and booking more consultations and more clients in a month than I used to do all year. And I'm going to share with you how you can do it too. So let's actually get into this. Take very copious notes because this is a game changer. You're going to want to do what I ask you to do here because it'll change everything for you. So the first question is, how do we attract what I call our A-list prospects? And you're going to hear me talk about A-list prospects because we don't want to just attract a bunch of people. That's kind of easy to do. We want to attract A-list people, and these are folks that can afford what we have to offer, are interested in what we have to offer, and quite frankly, are pre-framed and preconditioned into buying from us. So how do we attract these type of folks? what you need to do is you need to offer them as something of value. Now, there's many ways to do this. So you can offer them, for example, a book. So if you have a book, that's a great thing to attract them. Offer them a book. You can offer them a recording, another, again, something of value. But I'm going to share with you the very, very best thing that you could offer someone, which, quite frankly, wasn't available a number of years ago. And it's the most powerful thing that you can do. So what you offer, though, must position you as the go-to expert. So you want to write that down. What you offer must position you as the go-to expert. And this really goes to the formula, which is the ACE formula, which stands for authority, celebrity, and expert. When your prospect gets this information from you, this thing of value from you, it needs to position you as someone who is the ultimate authority, who is a celebrity in their target in the target market. I'm not talking about a national celebrity necessarily, and is also the expert. Why? Well, because that's who people buy from today. They no longer care about that you've been in business for 25 years. That's not as important as the authority, the celebrity, and the expert positioning. And as the system does that for you. It positions you as the authority, the celebrity, and expert. The next thing that this piece of valuable information that you're going to give to someone needs to accomplish is to get them to know you, to like you, and to trust you. And don't underestimate the power of this, because studies have shown that the sale, in most cases, is based upon the customer knowing, liking, and trusting the salesperson, not based upon price. So if we can get our prospects to view us as the authority, the celebrity, and the expert, and they know, like, and trust us, can you see how that would make engaging the client, closing the sale, turning that A-list prospect into an A-list customer a lot easier? Right? The answer is, of course, of course. So the question is, though, what is the best way to go about doing this? Well, there are so many different ways that you can do it. You've got direct mail. You've got social media marketing. You've got speaking. You can do it via email. You can do it via, like I said earlier, a report or a book. So here's a little pop quiz for you. Out of those 5, and there are other ones, but out of those 5, what is the best way to establish your authority, celebrity, and expertise and get people to know you, like you, and trust you? 1, direct mail. 2, social media. 3, speaking. 4, email. Or 5, report or book. Now, some of you I know are pretty astute, and you're thinking, wait a minute, is this a trick question? And it is a trick question, because the answer is all of those work. However, there is one, and by the way, you should be implementing all of those in your marketing and in your sales process. But the system that we're going to talk about really encapsulates one of those, because there's one that is more powerful than all of them. And the truth is, you're going to combine all of those, and you're going to use all of those, but they're going to be centered around one particular methodology. So you're going to use all of that. You're going to use direct mail. You're going to use social media. You're going to use all of that stuff. But it's going to be revolving around this one piece. And we're going to get to what that piece is in just a minute. The question is it worth it to do this? Well, it is, because if you follow the system that I'm about to lay out for you, you're going to have less cost per lead. Meaning, You're going to get more leads at less money. And that's obviously very good. But equally as important is you're going to have a higher closing percentage, because when you finally meet with the prospect, and by the way, it doesn't matter whether you're meeting with the prospect over the telephone, via video online like with Zoom, or actually in your office, you are automatically going to have a higher closing percentage. Now, I'm going to share with you some really good, what I call consultation to close secrets today. But even if you didn't do any of that other stuff that I'm going to share with you today, by the fact of the system, by how you're generating the prospect, that is naturally going to lead to a higher closing percentage without you having to get better at sales. I hope that makes sense. And the next thing is it provides consistency, meaning that once you implement this system, once you put this machine in place, for lack of a better term, you're not going to have to worry about filling up your appointment books. It'll be automatically filled up. You're not going to have to worry about where your next client is coming from. You're going to be able to predict reliably how much money you're going to be making, how many new clients you're going to be getting. And the beautiful thing is, this is so precise that it allows you to turn it up or turn it down. And so by that I mean, if you want to generate a whole bunch more clients, well, you can turn the system up and you're going to generate more clients. If your practice is really being overwhelmed, you can dial it down as well. So this is so powerful. So let's go over what the system is, okay? And the next slide that I'm about to show you is pure gold, and I mean gold. And it's simple, but it's powerful. So here it is. This is the system in a nutshell. And we're going to go over each one of these pieces in great detail on our training today. So we have to have a way to generate leads. We are going to be driving leads to what I call a powerful presentation. And I'm going to share with you 2 ways that you can use this powerful presentation. The powerful presentation is designed for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to get people on a consultation. So the important thing about these 3 pieces of the puzzle is that they are designed to accomplish one thing. This is where a lot of people mess up with their marketing and their sales system. They try to get individual pieces of the system to do more than that they're designed to do. So the lead generation piece, its only purpose is designed to get people to view your powerful presentation. Your powerful presentation is not designed to sell your service or your product in this scenario. It is designed for one purpose only, which is to get people to book a consultation with you, to reserve time to talk with you. Your consultation, and again, we're going to go over each one of these. Your consultation is designed to close the sale, and that's the only purpose of the consultation. Okay? So what we're going to be talking about here, and we're going to go over to start the major piece of this puzzle, which is your powerful presentation. This is the core. All of the other marketing techniques and sales techniques that we talked about, the direct mail, the social media, all of that revolve around this core. So let's start in the middle with the key piece, with the powerful presentation. Now, why am I saying that this is the most powerful way to establish your authority, your celebrity and expert, and get people to like you and trust you? Well, it's very simple. When you speak, and when you get up in front of a group of people and you speak, you are automatically, and it is assumed, that you're an authority, the celebrity, and the expert. And the reason for that is, who gets up in front of people and speaks? Authority, celebrities, and experts. Also, because they're hearing from you and they're seeing you, they automatically will know, like, and trust you. And then finally, this makes you absolutely unforgettable because your competitors are not doing this, or if they are doing it, if they are speaking to sell, they're doing it not well. They're not entertaining. They're boring, right? So they're not doing it well. With the way that I'm going to share with you to create a presentation that gets people to book consultations with you is going to be completely different than anything else your competitors are doing. And it's going to make you so likable because you're going to entertain your audience that you're going to be unforgettable. They're going to remember you. So even if they don't book a consultation, book an appointment with you, right? With the follow-up system we're going to discuss, they will eventually, when they're ready to make a buying decision, they're going to set up the consultation with you. Now, I know there's a big elephant in the room, so let's tackle that elephant right now with this question. Who is afraid of public speaking? Because part of this, and by the way, I've got a strategy that I'm going to share with you if you are just deathly afraid of public speaking, if you're not going to get up in front of a group of people. I'm going to strongly encourage you to do so, though, because there is no more powerful lead generation strategy. None. Where you're going to walk out of there with A-list prospects who have booked consultations with you and are basically pre-sold on working with you. Right? So if you're afraid of public speaking, I have an alternative for you. But here you have two choices. Number one, you can get over it and get rich. Okay? Just get over it. Once you have the structure, and I'm going to give you the structure, I'm going to hand it to you on a silver platter. And by the way, it's different than if you were selling an actual product. So selling a consultation, and I just did the air quotes. You can't see me, so I don't know why I'm doing the air quotes, but air quotes around selling, the word selling. Just because you're offering a consultation for free does not mean that people are going to take you up on it. You still have to sell them on spending their time to talk with you, to talk to you, okay? So number one, if you're afraid of public speaking, you can get over it and get rich. And there's techniques that I can teach you that make it so easy for you, and you'll feel so powerful, so confident that you'll actually grow to love it. But as I mentioned, you can get results with this system without ever stepping foot in front of an audience. And I'm going to share with you how you can specifically do that. But in either scenario, whether you are getting up and you're doing a dinner workshop, or you're doing a small seminar, or you're doing something in your office, for example, or at a local library, whatever it is, what you're going to need is you're going to need a presentation. Now, in this training today, we don't have time to go over every single thing that you need to know about putting together a perfect presentation that'll book consultations for you like magic, okay? But I want to give you an outline so you can truly understand the system, and it's a great jumping off point, a great starting point for you. So the first thing that you want to do is you got to grab your audience's attention. So they're sitting there, they're waiting for you to speak. You've got to grab their attention. And the way that you do that is by making a big promise. So you could make 1 to 3 big promises, and I'm going to give you some exact scripting here. And by the way, it is in my book, Sales Stampede, the exact scripting for this, but I want to give it to you right here. Basically, you say to your audience, in the next 40 minutes, I'm going to teach you a 1, 2, 3 step-by-step strategy for X, Y, and Z. And X, Y, and Z is the big benefits, the big outcomes that your prospect who's sitting in your audience wants to achieve. It's the solutions to their problems. And so you start your presentation by telling them, hey, I'm going to share with you these secrets, this strategy, this system that'll help you achieve this, this, and this. Now, let me give you a little bonus here. You can also add in, after you've made the big promise, you can also add in the word without. And then after the word without, you say the thing that they do not want to have to do in order to get the result. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here. I could say, so in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to teach you a 1, 2, 3 step-by-step system where you can lose weight, lose 10 pounds in the next 10 days, drop 2 jean sizes, and dramatically increase your energy without having to exercise or change your eating habits at all. Okay, so that's a pretty bold promise. Now, obviously, we've got to be telling the truth, but you get the idea. So what's important is that you know specifically, you've gotten inside the mind of your ideal prospect, that person who's sitting in your audience, and you know specifically those 3 big things that they want to achieve and the thing that they don't want to have to do. And by the way, there's ways of doing that, right? I teach ways of getting inside your prospect's head so you know the answers to those things. So after you make your big promise, the next thing that you do is you talk about, well, why people should be listening to you. Why people should be listening to you. And this is where you tell your core story. Now, you've got to tell your core story in an entertaining way. And there's a specific structure for doing that. But so you're not just saying, well, I've been in business for 25 years. I've got this degree and that degree. No, again, people don't care about that. You've got to tell a personal story. Because when you create a dynamite presentation, a dynamic presentation, you want this presentation to connect with your audience. And the way that you connect with your audience is on a personal level. And so you tell your origin story at this point. Next is you set up the enemy. So there's always an enemy. So I work with a lot of financial advisors. I work with a lot of tax resolution specialists. I work with a lot of estate planning attorneys. And we know that a major enemy of our prospect is the IRS, right? It's the government. And so we want to set up the enemy. And by the way, let's say that you are selling a weight loss type of thing where you're going to be consulting with the person on a weekly basis to help them reach their weight loss goals. Well, the enemy is all of the other programs. The enemy is TV advertising. The enemy, so you get it, right? So you've got to set up who the enemy is. The next thing is you want to have testimonials if you can use them. Now, by the way, I know in some industries that are highly regulated, you can't use testimonials. That's totally cool. And by the way, I'm not talking necessarily either, though, about results-based testimonials. So, for example, if you're a financial advisor watching this, I'm not saying that you should put up a slide that shows the 500% gains that you've gotten for your client over the past year. But you can use testimonials from people who said that they've worked with you, okay, and that they've enjoyed working with you and that you're knowledgeable. However, if you're highly regulated and you can't use testimonials, you just don't put them in. It is definitely not a make or break whatsoever. If you have them and you can use them, you're going to put in some testimonials to prove that, again, you're the real deal. The next piece is what I call content that sells. Now, I used to call it the teaching section, but I no longer call it the teaching section of the presentation. And the reason I don't call it the teaching section is it gives you the wrong idea. Because what we're going to be doing here is delivering content, and you're going to want to write this down. You want to deliver content that creates the desire in your prospect to book a consultation with you. Let me repeat that. Everything that you say, everything that you do in your presentation should create the internal desire for your prospect, your audience member, to take the next step with you. And that next step is to book a consultation with you. If you overteach, meaning you get into the technical details, and I've seen so many people do this. They love the technical details of their stuff. They're into it. Your audience doesn't care about the technical details. All they care about is, can this person give me the solution to the problem that I have? And so you deliver general information. And the way that you deliver it is you break it apart into 3 major chunks of information. And then you tell people, and you're going to want to write this down, what to do, not how to do it. Tell people what to do, not how to do it. Here are the things that you need to do in order to get the result. You don't tell them how to do it because you're going to do it for them. And that's why they need to book a consultation with you, so that they further the process, so they can get the result that they desire. Remember this, you want to be an entertainer, not a teacher. I always ask people, who gets paid more, entertainers or teachers? So you want this section of your presentation to be entertaining and fun. Now, you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, Dave. I'm not an entertainer. I mean, you were an entertainer. You were a magician. You were a mentalist. It's easy for you. Yeah, well, it was. But guess what? I can teach you those skills of presentation so your presentation is entertaining. Now, by the way, I'm not necessarily talking about doing magic, although you could, right? I'm just talking about delivering an entertaining presentation that people will enjoy. So, and then the final thing is your call to action, and that's where you're going to ask your prospect to book a consultation. So just so you know, everything that you talk about leads to this part. And I used to call this the close, and I sometimes still call this a close, but also that gives you the wrong impression as well, because the truth is your entire presentation is a close. From your opening statement through all the way through the content that sells to the actual close, the entire presentation is a close. And you want to remember this, your presentation needs to be about what your prospect wants, okay? Your presentation needs to be about what your prospects want, not what they need. We are absolutely, because we're ethical, going to deliver what they need when they buy from us, when they engage our service. However, we need to, in order to get them what they want, to get them the result, we have to talk about the things that they want, not the things that they need. So there's a quick overview of what a powerful presentation is. Now let's move on to the next piece of the puzzle, which is lead generation, or as I like to call it, putting butts in seats. Warning, warning, warning. The picture I'm about to show you may cause permanent mental damage, but it's kind of cute. Okay, so how do we put, I told you, I gave you the warning, Okay, so how do we put butts in seats? There is a very specific methodology for making this work. The first thing is you want to do an A-pile mail invitation. So you're going to send an actual invitation in the mail, not a letter, not a big postcard, not anything all the other people are doing, but something that looks like an invitation, and in fact is an invitation. So it looks like it's hand addressed, the envelope on the outside. It's invitation sized. When they open up, it is an invitation. So when your prospects get it, you are inviting them to something, which you are. You're inviting them to a fun and informative evening, or a fun and informative afternoon, or a fun and informative morning, wherever you're going to do your seminar, or you're going to do your workshop. You then also want to use social media to make this happen. So Facebook, wherever your prospects are, you're going to say, hey, you're going to invite them to come and watch your presentation. Because, and the reason this is going to work, as with all of this, and there's a slide that's going to reiterate this, but is that because your presentation is targeting a problem, the solution to a problem that your prospect wants to solve. And then, of course, we are going to be using email. Right? Email, by the way, is still one of the most powerful strategies. So hopefully you have an email list of prospects. You have an email list of people who came in for a consultation but didn't book. You can just send out a simple email to these folks, inviting them to watch your presentation. But remember, with all of these things, your invitations need to be about helping your prospects solve their core problem. It's all about solving their core problem, right? Nobody wants an estate plan. They want the results and the feeling that they'll have from having an estate plan. So the language that you need to use needs to focus on not the process. So getting the estate plan is the process, right? Having a retirement plan is the process. We want to focus on the results and the outcome and the transformation. We want to say, here's your problem. When you come to this event, I'm going to hand you the solution. Okay, so let's assume for the sake of time that we've crafted our powerful presentation. We're generating leads, so people are registering, they're signing up to come to our event, to our informative and fun seminar, workshop, talk, whatever you want to do. So we've done our presentation. If you do it properly, the way that I lay it out for you, a huge amount of folks are going to book consultations with you. So I have a longtime client. Her name is Linda Sherfy. She's out of Virginia. She's an estate planning attorney. And she does these workshops for seniors, all about estate planning. And before she went through my system, she was closing, I think she told me, about 20 to 25% of the folks who came to her presentation. 20 to 25% booked consultations. Now, following the system, she books 75% of the folks. So 70, which is a huge number, 75% of the folks that are in her audience book consultations with her after watching her presentation. So we've got all these people, and you will have a line of people wanting to reserve time with you. Because of the presentation, by the way, just as a little aside, because of the presentation, they're already pretty much pre-sold on working with you. So there are these people who are signing up, booking consultation time with you. Again, whether it's in person, over the phone, via video, whatever it is, are pre-qualified. They're the most qualified prospects that are ever going to be on your calendar and coming into your office, or who you're going to be meeting with via the phone. All right, so what do we do during the consultation? So your closing percentage, your engagement rate is going to go way up just because of the system that we've laid out, just because of the first two pieces. But now how can we amp that up? Because the idea here is to get to the money, right? And to help solve our prospects' problem, because the more prospects we help, the more money we make. And so we've got to be able to close the sale. And so how do you structure your presentation so you dramatically increase your closing percentage? Remember, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned it 4 times because it's so exciting, the folks that are coming into your office who have booked the appointments with you are very much pre-qualified. They're almost ready to buy, but you still have to close. And what I'm about to share with you could literally double your closing percentage. And what's exciting about that is, of course, all of the money you're going to make. Remember, you're doing the same amount of work. So if you have 10 prospects come in and you're currently closing 4 of them, and then all of a sudden you start closing 8 of them, you've doubled your income in the same amount of time. You're going to be speaking with the 10 people anyway, but now instead of closing 4, you're closing 8. So you have doubled your income. And the reason that I focus so much on sales is it gives you the greatest leverage. Because every time you increase your closing percentage, that is an automatic increase to your profits. Think about it. With marketing, typically, you have got to spend more money to generate more leads. If you close well, you're making more money. You've given yourself an instant pay raise because it doesn't cost you anymore to get good at closing the sale. So let's go over an overview of how you do that. And the first thing is something that almost no one thinks about. And that is what I call the subliminal sales office. You want to have your office set up in such a way that when people walk in, they immediately feel at ease. They immediately, again, it's reestablish that you're the authority, that you're the celebrity, that you're the expert, that they like you and that they trust you. And there's ways to do this. Now, by the way, if you're selling via a video consultation, there's also ways to do it. And these are just certain things that you have in your office or on your desk or in the background that build that liking and that trusting and that authority status. So the selling actually starts before the selling actually starts. The next thing is the meet and greet. Okay, so your prospect has come in. What do you say? Well, I promised that I would give you some exact language of what to say at the very beginning of your presentation. And make no doubt about it, by the way, we've already started the presentation with our subliminal sales office. And the meet and greet phase is the second phase of the system. So you want to ask your prospect 5 to 7 questions immediately that they need to answer yes to. You want to ask your prospect 5 to 7 questions right away that they have to give you an affirmative answer to. Why? Because studies have shown, and this has been scientifically studied, that if you could get people to say yes 5 to 7 times, and then, of course, yes throughout your presentation, more of those people will say yes at the end of your presentation, yes to your offer. And it is so beautiful because if people have filled out, which they should have, by the way, if they filled out any type of application, worksheets before they get to the office, all you need to do is ask them questions based upon what they wrote. So, for example, I've got a program which is a mastermind coaching program where folks come together and we meet, we have a really great time, and it's an expensive program. It's not inexpensive. Can't sell it just with a webinar, for example, right? I've got to talk to people, and I want to talk to them because I want to qualify them just as much as they want to qualify me. If I'm going to be working so closely with a group of people and on an individual basis, right? I really truly want to make sure that they're a good fit for the group and that I'm going to enjoy working with them. So they fill out an application. And on that application, I've got a bunch of questions. And so I could simply look at the application. I could say, okay, so Mr. Smith, I see that you are a cosmetic dentist. Is that right? Okay, great. And you've been in practice, wow, for 15 years. And you're located in Georgia, right? And do you see what I'm doing? I'm just asking questions. Step by step by step. So you say that your number one problem is lead generation. So you think that not getting enough clients is the number one problem. Is that right? Yes. So the prospect is saying yes, 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 yes. You're putting them into a yes mindset, which will help carry the yes at the end. It's also during the meet and greet phase that you need to develop rapport. Because remember, people who are like each other trust each other. People buy from people who they know, like, and trust. So you have to use techniques and strategies so that the person feels totally at ease with you. That you're like their best friend. And there's actual strategies and techniques for making that happen, which you can use, by the way, not only in your business life, but in your personal life as well. You could meet somebody and minutes later having them tell you deep secrets about what's going on in their life if you use these strategies. But for now, just understand that we need to get the person to truly like us and trust us, and that is developing rapport. The next piece is the discovery piece. This is where we're going to ask our prospect a series of questions to find out what they truly want. What they truly want. Again, not what they need. We're going to absolutely deliver what they need, but we first have to sell them on what they want. And these questions dig very, very deep into the ultimate thing that the prospect wants. So in the book Sales Stampede, I believe it's on page 20 or 21, right around there, there's an illustration of what I call the hierarchy of persuasion. At the lowest level and the least persuasive thing are features, right? Higher up on the ladder are benefits, right? Benefits are pretty good, and that's selling 101, and that's where almost everybody stops. Higher level, though, are the outcomes. Here are the outcomes that you're going to achieve. But the highest level is transformation. This is where persuasion and influence actually happens. It's at the transformation level. And transformation is emotional. Transformation is, hey, this is what this is going to do for you, how this is actually going to transform you. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I am selling a sales training program, as an example. So and let's say it's an online course. So the features of that would be, well, there are 6 modules. There's 3 videos in every module, and you get handouts. Okay, so that's an example of features. The benefits of this online course is, well, you can go through the course anywhere you want at your leisure. And also, in addition to the video, we also have it as audio. We have it as an MP3. So you can just listen to it on the go when you're driving. Those are benefits. The outcome of the program is that you are going to generate a lot more leads, and you're going to make a lot more sales, and you're going to make a lot more money. So that is the outcome. And if someone gets to that point and starts really talking about outcome, if a salesperson does, they're in the top 5%. Because the truth is, no one, they talk about features and benefits. They don't even really get to outcomes. But the highest level is that of transformation. How are you going to be different? How are you going to feel different? So let's continue with our example here. So you're going to make more sales, you're going to make more money, you're going to generate more leads, which means you're never, ever going to have to worry about where your next client is coming from. You'll wake up in the morning excited to go into the office, knowing that you're going to be serving people who need you and can afford to pay for you and who respect you. You're going to be able to take that time off that you've wanted to take off. You're going to be able to take your spouse on that dream vacation. How good would that feel to you? You see, what's more powerful? Features? There's 6 modules. Benefits? You can listen to it on the go. Outcome? You're going to make more money. Or transformation, what I just said. So in the discovery phase, I've crafted a series of questions where you find out their outcomes and their transformation. And here's what's beautiful. You have them actually live that, experience that transformation while they're in the consultation with you. So they're experiencing all of these amazing feelings of the things that they really, truly desire. And then they connect those with you. It is incredible. And by the way, notice there's no sleazy, high-pressure closing or selling that everybody else teaches where you got to be hardcore and close them. No. You need to maintain your professionalism. What we're doing here is we're finding out what people truly want, what they desire, and then we're helping them get it. We don't need to use sleazy used car salesman, hardcore closing techniques. And you shouldn't. So now we discovered what they want. Now we're going to prescribe the solution. Okay, Mr. Prospect, you said that you want this, this, and this. Based on what you said, here is the plan that's going to help you achieve that. And then you lay out the plan. Now, you need to lay out the plan in a specific way. You need to lay out the plan using specific language so it's accepted. You need to subliminally answer objections. And yes, I said subliminally answer objections. We don't want the prospect raising objections. We want to answer the objections in advance. And by the way, remember, this prospect who is sitting in front of you is no longer a cold prospect because they've seen your amazing presentation, right? You've developed rapport with them. They already like you and they trust you, right? You've had them really live out, at least inside of their head, the ideal scenario, the transformation that they want to experience. And so now you're just showing them, hey, this is how we're going to get you to that result. And then the final thing is you ask for the sale. You ask for the sale. And asking for the sale can be as simple as, so what do you think? Now, there's other closes that you can use, but that's one of my favorite ones. So what do you think? Because if you think about it, everything that we've done up to this point has led to the close. So the close does not have to be this big event. But remember, your consultation needs to be about helping your prospects solve their core problem. Okay, here is a bonus strategy for scaredy cats. Let's say you love the system, and I'm sure you do love the system. There's only one piece of the system you might not like, and that's having to do seminars, having to do workshops in front of people, right? Having to do these kind of things. So let's say that you're not going to do that. You're just deathly afraid of public speaking. How can you use this same exact system to book clients for you on autopilot? Here's how you do it. You still create and craft this powerful presentation. And then you sit in front of your computer and you record it on your computer. And you can use slides just like this. So you don't even have to be on camera. If you don't want to, you can just use slides just like this, okay? You then take that video and you put that video on your website. And then instead of driving people using the lead generation strategies that we talked about to come to a seminar and watch you, or come to a live workshop and watch you, you drive them online to watch the video online. That's it. That's it. It's following the same exact system. You're going to generate leads. You're going to drive people to a powerful presentation. Ideally, that presentation is live. Okay. Secondarily, it works great if it's a recorded webinar. And so you can just keep recording until it gets the way that you want it. You are then going to have the consultation, and then you're going to close. So let's look at this system in detail and some of the finances and how this works as far as the money goes. So let's say that you do one of these presentations and you book 5 consultations from just one presentation, which is so easy to do. So we're going to make these numbers like ridiculous. Okay? So you do a presentation, whether it's a webinar or whether it's an in-person workshop, seminar, talk, whatever, and 5 people say, yep, I want to have a consultation with you. And then at the consultation, you close 3 new clients, right? Very, very doable. Closing 3 out of 5, as long as you have the killer presentation, is easy. Easy. Now, let's say that each one of those clients is worth $5,000 to you. And by the way, you need to have, to make this work, you got to have a lifetime value of a customer, client, or patient of anywhere between $2,500, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 or more. So, because it's just not worth it to do it. If your client, your long-term customer or client value or patient value isn't worth in the $2,500 to $5,000 range. Now, I know for most of you, it's worth much more than that, but I just wanted to give you a minimum here. So that would be $15,000 in new business from a single 45-minute to hour presentation. How does that sound to you? My guess is it sounds real good, right? So I'm not going to make you say, hell yeah, son, but it sounds really good. See, when you implement this system, you're no longer going to be worried about where your next client is coming from, okay? You're no longer going to be stressed out about money or payroll or any of that stuff. And you're not going to have to think about how to generate A-list leads and then turn A-list leads into clients ever again. The system takes care of that for you. So a question that you're probably asking at this point is, well, how the heck do I make this happen in my practice? This sounds good. I want to implement this. I want to put this machine in my business. So I want to talk to you about something that I have. It is called the Practice Profit Magic System and Coaching Program. And this is so exciting. We're going to be working together on putting this in your business and then so much more. But first, let me tell you who this is not for. So this program is specifically for someone who has a professional practice of some type. So again, as I mentioned, if you're a financial advisor, if you're an attorney, if you're in the healthcare field, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're someone who sells via consultation, because everything that we have in the system is designed to generate leads, to drive them to a presentation. That presentation's purpose is not to sell a product. It's not to sell the service. It's to get people to book consultations with you in droves. And then the third piece of it is, okay, now they're at the consultation. How do we close it? So you've got to have a professional practice or you've got to be selling via consultation. The next thing is, this isn't for you if you're not going to participate in it. I'm all about results. I told you my story. I told you the ultimate success secret, which is about implementation. So if you're not going to participate in it, if you're not going to work with me on it, then it's probably not a good investment for you. Also, it's not good for you if the investment is going to cost you sleepless nights. Now, I've priced this thing, and we'll get to that in a minute. I've priced this thing so anyone who's serious can absolutely, positively afford it. However, if the investment is going to cause you to lie awake at night and take food off of your table, then you should not do this, right? I don't want you to take the information I've given you here and try to figure it out on your own. Okay, that's the slow way. It's the painful way, but I don't want to be responsible for taking food off your table. All right, so here's the basics of the program. You are going to get all of the training and personal help you need. So our goal is to double your practice profits in the next 12 months. That is the goal. So let's take a peek at this program so you can see specifically what it is and how it works. I think you're going to be really, really excited about it. As far as I know, there isn't a program like this. So just as an aside, the reason I created this program is like, how can I really honestly impact business owners' lives? How can I actually help them get that transformation that they desired? And it was like, it's not going to be with just another information product. Yeah, that's going to be a piece of it, but there has to be more to it than that. And there's so much more to it than that. So let's go over it so you can understand what this is all about. And then you can make a decision about whether it's right for you or whether it's not right for you. So here's what you're going to receive. The first pieces are information. They are online classes, but there's so much more. Let's just go over the first piece of the puzzle, though, which is what I call the consultation booking machine signature presentation. So this is going to be delivered over weeks 1 and week 2. So this is an 8-week program. The information piece of it is an 8-week program, but then there's so much more after the 8 weeks, okay? So just hang in here. So weeks 1 and weeks 2 is where you're going to create your consultation. You're going to create that powerful presentation. I'm going to give you a template. Now, even if you have my webinar course or something like that, which is tremendous, by the way, this template is, although similar, is designed specifically to book consultations. So if someone watches a presentation, it leads to them booking a consultation. It's a professional template. You just need to fill in the blanks. And that's what we do during weeks 1 and 2. This is crafted to not only sell the consultation, but to sell you. Remember this, people are buying you. They're buying you. There's a whole bunch of other people who offer the same products, the same services as you do. So we've got to sell them on you, and the template does that for you. And also, this is designed so that you can create this very, very quickly. You don't have to create the slides. You have to fill in blanks on the slides following my instructions. And then the close is completely crafted for you. So the close is different, by the way, than if you're selling a physical product or a digital product. Your close is different. It's already constructed for you in the proper way, slide by slide. So once again, you just need to fill in the blanks. So you get the signature consultation booking machine presentation program, right? So that's an online program. You'll get access to it in a members-only site. It's delivered via video, audio, and then there's handouts as well. The next thing is, okay, so now we've created our powerful presentation. The next thing is, how do we take that presentation and how do we autopilot this? Because regardless of whether you are going to do presentations live, which I think that you should do, by the way, do workshops and seminars for small groups of people at restaurants or in your office or wherever local in your town. I think you should do that for sure because it gives you such a huge advantage. But whether you're going to do that or not, you're still going to want to take your powerful presentation and you're going to want to put it online. So in weeks 3 and 4, that's what we're going to do. In weeks 1 and 2, you're going to create the presentations. Week 3 and 4, we're going to take your signature presentation and we're going to turn it into your 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week salesperson by putting it online. This will help you capture new leads because you're going to be driving people to watch this presentation. And before they can watch the presentation, they're going to need to give you their contact information, and which will allow you to follow up with them. And then also, you're going to be able to immediately use this presentation to convert any unconverted leads that you have on autopilot. So what do I mean by that? So if you have a email list, odds are there's people on that email list that asked you for information, maybe even came in for a consultation, but did not engage you, did not invest in your product or in your service. So all you need to do is send out a series of emails to those people, inviting them to attend this training that you're doing online and have them watch it, and that powerful presentation then books consultations. So it's a beautiful way to take unconverted leads or people who said no initially and get them to book an appointment with you. It's just beautiful. All right, and so we teach you specifically how to do that. The next thing is, so we've created our presentation. We've put our presentation online, so it's autopilot. So it's really working for us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's like a consultation booking machine. Now we got to generate leads. And so we're going to generate leads in weeks 5 and week 6. And I call this the Butts and Seats Blueprint. The Butts and Seats Blueprint. Now, I'm going to make a damaging admission, or really, quite frankly, a confession here. I'm not an expert at lead generation. I'm an expert at closing sales, either one-on-one or one-to-many, and developing presentations that can do that. So, I'm not going to be teaching this section. I have the best of the best who are going to teach you this section. So number one is the ultimate direct mail system. I told you about the invitations that you need to send out. Well, there's a whole bunch more to it than that. How do you pick the mailing list? Where do you mail to? How do you actually do it? How do people book the consultations once they get the invitation in the mail? All of that is covered in this module, which is honestly worth the price of any one of these modules. And my good friend and direct mail marketing guru expert, the best in the business, Craig Simpson, teaches you this. By the way, Craig's not selling you on his services. This is a step-by-step tutorial. So to put it into perspective, in the past 2 years, Craig has put 50,000 butts in seats for local seminars and workshops. And he's going to teach you how to do it too. Again, I'm not going to teach it. I interviewed him, so I'm on it. But he's going to show you he is the best of the best of the best, and you're going to learn how to do it. The next thing is driving high-quality leads with Facebook. Now, I generate a lot of leads with Facebook, but I don't do it myself. So I have one of the world's leading experts that are going to show you specifically how to generate leads. And again, it's a little bit different than if you're selling a product or service, how to generate leads for people to come to either a webinar or an in-person workshop. Again, this is step by step by step. And then you do have me, because I am an expert at email marketing. I like to call it D-mail marketing. Get it? D-mail. Okay. Anyway, so this is a 4-step system for filling your event. And this is emails that you're going to send out, which I actually give you. You just have to modify them slightly, that you're going to send out to your current list of prospects. Okay, so to your unconverted leads, people you already have on your list who did not engage. By the way, if you don't have an email list, you just have a direct mail list, you can easily take these emails and turn them into letters and send those as well. So those are the 3 major pieces to the puzzle. Number 1, the direct mail system to put butts in seats, driving leads, putting butts in seats using Facebook, and then putting butts in seats using email. Okay, so now we have our signature presentation, right? We have our powerful presentation. We've taken that presentation. We have it online as our 24/7 autopilot appointment booking machine. We know how to put butts in the seats. The final thing that we need is obviously how to close, because you're going to have a whole bunch of people who are booking consultations with you. Your calendar will be filled. And so we want to get as much value as we can from that. So how do we do it? Well, that's what we're going to do in weeks 7 and 8. I'm going to share with you everything that you need to know to create a consultation that closes. Now, by the way, I understand that many of you are awesome when the client gets in front of you, but this is going to help you become even more awesome, because remember, every little percentage point, if you increase just by 5% by following this, you've given yourself a 5% pay raise. If you follow my system that I lay out for you and you increase it by 25%, which is like a no-brainer, by the way, you've just given yourself a 25% pay raise and without doing any extra work. Okay? So we're going to be going over how to set up your office for subliminal selling. I'm going to share with you specifically what you need to have in your office. And there is specific things, whether you're doing a webinar, so it'll be what's on your desk, what's in the background. If it's you do consultations with people in your office, what to place in your office. The next thing is what I call the Magic Consulting Sales Script. This is the script that I use. This is the script that my high-end clients use that I've shared with, and all you need to do is follow the script. It goes through the meet and greet phase. It goes through the discovery phase. It goes through the probing phase, where you find out there's specific series of questions that are on this form that will allow you to figure out the outcome and the transformation that your prospect truly desires on the deepest levels. It then shows you how to prescribe the solution. There's a specific technique. It's not just saying, okay, well, here's what you want, here's how we're going to achieve it. No, 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 no. There's a specific technique for prescribing the solution. Then, of course, we go over the close. I also share with you some really cool hypnotic closing techniques that using hypnotic language and subliminal suggestion, which is ideal for people who sell via consultation. Now, in addition to the training modules, which again are delivered via video, they're delivered via audio, and then there's handouts as well, I also give you all of the templates and tools that you need. So I wanted to create this so not that you just learn stuff, but rather that you implemented stuff. Because I have a little saying, you probably don't need more information, you need more implementation. And so the reason I like to include templates is because, first of all, I know that they work, and therefore it cuts down on the amount of time from when you learn something to the amount of time between the time where you actually see results in your bank account. And these are literally, with like not exaggeration, fill in the blanks, including the powerful professional signature presentation template that I give you, again, which is specifically designed to help book consultations for you. Okay, so you get the templates. So you get the signature consultations, you get the signature presentation, booking machine presentation, you get the consultation booking machine, which is turning it into an online webinar, you get the butts and seats blueprint, you get the consultations at close systems, you get all of the templates. I didn't even give the templates a value because they're included with each of the modules. But in addition to that, I was like, how can I truly help people implement? And so we are going to add in 8 weekly coaching calls. And so this is how it's going to work. These are going to be live calls that happen every single week. And so you will come on with all of the other members of this program, and you'll be able to ask your questions. If you cannot, or if you prefer to submit your question in advance, you can submit your sales and marketing questions in advance to me, or you can ask them to me live, because these will be live. And they will also, all of the calls will be recorded. So never during this 8-week program will you have a question or something where you're confused about where you cannot get an answer. That will never happen. I'm going to be with you every step of the way so that you can take massive action and implement this to see incredible transformational results in your bank account and, quite frankly, in your life. Right? This truly is, we talked about transformation, this truly is about you having the business that you've always dreamed about. And then as a result, having the time freedom, the money freedom that'll give to you. Now, of course, I've got to offer some bonuses because that's what you got to do, isn't it? So the first bonus is what I call the done-for-you post-event marketing machine. The truth is that your sales and your fortune is in the follow-up. So here's the reality, right? And you know this. Everybody who watches your presentation is not going to book an appointment with you. That does not mean that they'll never book an appointment with you. It simply means that they weren't ready at that time. And so you want to have a way to contact these folks on a consistent basis and resell them on booking a consultation with you. And here's how it works. You're going to send out a letter to them with a thumb drive of the presentation. Now, some of my clients have been very successful, by the way, sending the letter, which I hand to you, which you get, again, it's fill in the blank, and driving people online to simply watch the presentation that's already online. Other clients create a little package with a thumb drive in it, and they send that same presentation, the recorded presentation, in the mail. Either way works. And then you're going to also send them a letter with a special report. Well, the special report is actually a transcript of the presentation. Why? Because this is important. People learn in different ways. Some people like to watch, other people like to learn. So you're going to follow up with a letter and a transcript. Remember, you're not doing any more work here. It's simply a transcript of the presentation that you've already done. And then a 4-step email sequence is going to go out. And again, all of this is written for you. All of this is written for you. And all it's a matter of is you filling in the blanks on the letters and then the emails and getting the presentation transcribed. That's all you're going to have to do. And obviously, you got to transcribe the presentation because, well, obviously, it's your presentation, right? So you're going to get that bonus, which is also going to help you dramatically increase your conversions. And then bonus number 2 is a doozy. Bonus number 2 is a 1-year Inner Sanctum VIP membership. So if you are already an Inner Sanctum VIP, you will no longer be charged the monthly membership dues for 1 year. That will stop. If you're not, you're going to get a year of the Inner Sanctum for free. So what is the Inner Sanctum VIP program? This is a program where every single month I create for you a master class on a particular topic. So for example, a particular topic might be on hypnotic language patterns that close sales, and you get scripts and all of that. So every month you get a masterclass on a marketing or sales topic, and it's typically focused on selling and selling one-to-many. So selling via webinars, selling via emails, selling via social media, that type of thing. And that is delivered to you on the 15th of every month in a private members-only area, and it's delivered to you via video, and you also get an MP3 of it, so you can listen to it on the go. And in addition to that, you also get a handout, which is an outline of the major points that we talked about. In addition to that, I have it professionally transcribed, and this thing is a thing of beauty. So don't think of it like a transcription. It's like a 20-page newsletter that you get, which I send to you in the mail. You see, these master classes are so valuable that you're going to want to refer to them over and over again. And so that's why I send it to you in the mail. In addition to that, there's a private members-only Facebook group for VIPs only. And on top of that, you also receive we do a monthly group video session where I teach a little bit of a topic and then I answer some general questions. So you're going to get all of that: the signature consultation booking machine presentation, the template and the instructions for how to fill it out, then how to take that and how to turn that into a webinar that sells for you, then how to put butts in seats, how to generate leads for people to watch your presentations. Then, once they come in for the consultation, I mean, this is so comprehensive. They come in for the consultation, here's the system that you're going to use to close them. In addition to that, there's going to be weekly coaching calls, a coaching call every week for the 8 weeks. These will be live. They'll also be recorded if you can't make a couple of them, and you can submit your questions in advance. For the bonuses, you're going to get the follow-up marketing machine. So you've done your webinar or you've done your presentation. A few people did not sign up for a consultation. You're going to put them into this sequence to re-engage them. And then, as a killer bonus, you get a 1-year membership in the Dave D. Inner Sanctum VIP program. Now, the total value of this, and by the way, the total value is more than what I have up here. I hope you understand that, because the value to you should be far more than $17,000. But if we just add up all of these components, the total value is $17,743. Well, obviously, you're not going to invest that amount. But let's just look at it and say, hey, yeah, that is the price, right? Let's just pretend for a second. So let me ask you, and I want you to do the math because I don't know your numbers. I will know your numbers because we're going to be doing the live coaching calls. But for now, just do the math in your head. So if all this membership did was add 1 new client a month to your practice, what would that be worth to you in the first year alone? And I don't believe that there's any reasonable person listening to this that would say, yeah, you know what? This wouldn't add 1 new client a month. Now, obviously, it's going to add more than 1, but let's make it ridiculous. So what would that be worth to you? Do the math. What is a client worth to you? What's the lifetime value of a client? So again, let's say that 1 client is worth $5,000 to you, right? If you just got 1 new client a month, that'd be $60,000. So the question is, would it be worth it to invest $18,000 to make $60,000? You're not going to get that in the stock market, right? There's no better place to invest your money than in your business. And the answer to that question is, of course, duh. Of course it makes sense. Because again, and I'm going to repeat it, there's no better investment than you can make in your business, putting money back into your business. Okay, so what is the investment? Well, you can get started today for $4,997 or 2 installments of $2,750. So all you need to do is click the Enroll Now button that you see under the screen, and you'll get started. You'll be taken to a very simple page, fill it out, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. So I also have a guarantee on this. You've got a full month to check it out. So that means you're going to go through 4 modules. At the end of those 4 modules, if you don't like the program, if you don't think it is everything that I said it is, then simply send me an email revoking your rights to use any of the material, right? That's the key. You can't use the material if you return the program, and I will give you your money back, no questions asked. Now, I do have a killer fast action bonus for the first 50 people who enroll in this program. So you're going to get the Practice Profit Magic system and coaching program for life. Well, what exactly does that mean? You're going to get the modules, which you're going to be able to keep for life anyway, but you're going to get coaching for life from me. You see, every week I'm going to be doing a coaching call. And so we're going to extend your coaching calls past the first 8 weeks of the program to forever. You see, I mentioned to you earlier that I wanted to come up with a program where I wasn't just giving you information. I wasn't even just giving you implementation. I wanted to really be an agent of transformation for you, so you could have the practice and so you could have the life that you've always wanted, that you've always dreamed about, so you could reach the next level as quickly as you want to reach it. And the only way that I could do that I figured out, is to be working with you on a consistent basis. Not just 8 weeks, but every week. Now, again, all of those calls will be recorded. You can submit your questions in advance. So if you can't make one of those calls, that's fine. But just know that I will be there for you every single week. And that is just for the first 50 people who take advantage of this, who enroll in Practice Profit Magic now. As far as the Inner Sanctum VIP program, remember, you get that free for 1 year. At the end of 1 year, we're going to ask you if you want to continue. And if you want to continue, which you will, by the way, it'll be just a small maintenance fee of $47 a month. So again, here's everything that you get. You get the 8 weeks of training, which takes you from creating your powerful presentation that you can deliver in person or via media. Then we show you how to take that presentation, put it online, turn it into an autopilot webinar that generates leads for you and books appointments for you. Then we show you how to put butts in seats using direct mail, using social media, and using email. And then once you've booked all of these appointments and your calendar is packed with appointments, you're going to want to close more of them than you're closing now. And that's where I share with you my Consultations That Close system. In addition to all that, you get weekly support every week for 8 weeks. You're going to be able to get on a coaching call with me. You'll be able to submit your questions in advance or ask them to me live. And they're all recorded. As a bonus, you get the done-for-you post-event marketing machine. This is what you do after your event, what you send to people who do not book an appointment. Bonus number 2 is a killer. You get a year membership in the Dave D. Inner Sanctum VIP program. Plus, if you're one of the first 50 people to enroll now to join this program, you get lifetime membership, meaning you get my coaching every single week for life. If this program sounds right to you, if you own a professional practice and you want to take it to the next level and build that practice of your dreams and have the life that you've always wanted to have, I'd love to work with you. In fact, I'd be honored to help you get there. So if that's you, click the Enroll Now button and let's get started. Hey, thanks so much for joining me here. I hope you got a tremendous amount of value, and I look forward to talking to you again really soon.